Hey, Corey with Creative Habitats. There's three things that I want to talk to you about turf grass. One, turf grass farms and weeds. Two, what your grass is planted in. And three, where do weeds come from? So the first thing, let me address turf grass farms and weeds. A turf grass farm is one of the most highly managed places that you will find for weeds. These farms, they'll invest a couple $100,000 in drones to do a spray schedule to keep their farms perfectly weed free. It's also inspected by the state and made sure that that's going to be one of the most weed free places you're going to find. Let me show you an example. Now, this is grass that we've had sitting at our holding area at Creative Habitats. This is centipede, this is zoysia, and this is Bermuda. Now, the Bermuda is pretty new, so maybe that's not a good one for the experiment. But see the centipede? You see how much that's grown? That's been sitting here for a couple months, and you don't see any weeds at all in it. If the turf farm had a lot of weeds in their grass, those would be coming up in here. And then the same thing over here for the zoysia. This is starting to get pretty shaggy, and as you can see, there's no weeds in here. Even this is the super shaggy old grass, and you do see weeds here, but notice those weeds are not growing in the grass. This has probably been sitting here for at least 6 months. So let me also talk to you about the ground that your grass is planted in. Now, as you can see, this is plastic. The grass cannot root in plastic. I'm going to take you over to another holding area that we have where we store our trees for upcoming jobs. Now, that area over there had overflowed with grass. We had the whole area covered in grass, and we needed a new area. So we put this plastic down. And this grass is at least 6 months old. This is Meyer zoysia. See how shaggy it is? It has been growing here, but you can tell how well watered it is. Grass, and I don't say this facetiously, if you plant grass on asphalt, if you water it and fertilize it, you will have beautiful grass. The most number one important thing for grass is you got to have the right sunlight, you got to have water, and you got to have nutrients. And if your ground is concrete, asphalt, or plastic, grass will grow in it. It just needs those other three things. Lastly, okay, you see that weed? Notice the weed's not growing in the grass. It's growing right here. That weed, where did it come from? Who planted it here? Did little weed gremlins come out here in the middle of the night and plant that? Where do weeds come from? Well, they come from up there. You see all those weeds? No, you don't. But there's weed seeds floating around up there, and then they take root. Let me show you one other thing. Now, we moved our trees over here. This was the old holding area. We're still trying to clear it out, but it's got 2 sprinklers. And this area gets a lot of water. It gets pretty waterlogged because we have 2 sprinklers. And you can tell how much water it holds. There are no cattails anywhere on our property, but somehow cattails popped up right here. Where do they come from? They came from there. There are weed seeds blowing around everywhere, and they are going to find a place that they like, and they're going to take root and they're going to grow. So just a quick review, sod farms almost have no weeds. Grass will grow on any ground as long as you water, fertilize it, and give it sun. And lastly, weeds are floating in the air, and they're also in the soil. And that's part of the reason I wanted to do this video. There are a gazillion weed seeds in this soil, and when it gets disturbed, you bring those weed seeds to a place where they can germinate and you activate them. And that's really probably the number one thing that I wanted to describe, is that when you disturb soil and lay grass, the weed seeds that were dormant in that soil, they now come up. And that's one of the biggest reasons why whenever we lay grass in a yard, all of a sudden there's a flush of weeds in the new grass. It's not the sod farm's fault. it's the weed seeds that were already there. And the way that you manage that is you cut it regularly, and if need be, you get a turf management service or the right chemicals to take care of that. Thanks so much, Corey, Creative Habitats.